Welcome to my channel Starwire Daily. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Picture this. The gates of a sprawling Gothic mansion swing open in the heart of London's most exclusive neighborhood. Inside, crystal chandeliers cast ethereal shadows across rooms where music legends once partied until dawn. And now, walking through those same hallowed halls is none other than Nicole Kidman, Hollywood's most enigmatic queen, paying an eye-watering £65,000 every single month just to call this place home. But this isn't just any mansion, darling. This is Boy George's legendary estate, a place where secrets whisper through velvet curtains and every corner tells a story that could make even the most seasoned tabloid editor blush. Welcome back to Starwire Daily, where we dive deep into the most captivating stories from Hollywood's elite. I'm your host, and today we're pulling back the silk curtains on one of the most intriguing celebrity rental arrangements of recent times. Because when Nicole Kidman, the woman who could buy any property in the world, chooses to rent Boy George's iconic mansion for more than most people make in a year, you know there's a story worth telling. Let's start with the mansion itself, because, honey, this isn't your typical celebrity hideaway. Nestled in one of London's most coveted postal codes, this Grade II listed Victorian masterpiece has been Boy George's pride and joy for over 2 decades. We're talking about a property that's part music studio, part art gallery, and entirely magical. The Culture Club frontman purchased this architectural gem back in the early 2000s, transforming what was already a stunning period property into something that could only be described as rock royalty meets Gothic romance. Picture walking through the front door, a massive oak structure that's probably witnessed more celebrity drama than the Oscars green carpet, and immediately being hit by the intoxicating blend of jasmine incense and vintage leather. The entrance hall alone could house a small apartment, with its soaring ceilings decorated in hand-painted murals that Boy George commissioned from some of London's most sought-after artists. But here's where it gets really juicy. Every single room in this mansion tells a different chapter of Boy George's incredible journey through music history. The main living room, where Nicole now presumably sips her morning coffee, features walls lined with platinum records and original artwork from the 80s New Romantic era. We're talking about pieces that museums would kill for, casually displayed like family photos. Now, you might be wondering, why would Nicole Kidman, a woman who owns properties from Nashville to Sydney, choose to rent someone else's home? The answer, as always with Nicole, is beautifully complex. Sources close to the Big Little Lies star reveal that Nicole fell head over heels for the mansion's unique energy the moment she stepped inside. And can you blame her? This isn't just a house. It's a living, breathing piece of music history. But there's something deeper here, something that speaks to Nicole's artistic soul. You see, Nicole has always been drawn to properties with character, with stories embedded in their very foundation. Remember her stunning Nashville estate that she shared with Keith Urban? Or that breathtaking penthouse in Sydney overlooking the harbor? Nicole doesn't just buy homes, she curates experiences. And Boy George's mansion? It's the ultimate experience. Every floorboard has groaned under the weight of music legends. Every window pane has reflected late-night recording sessions that produced some of the most iconic songs of the 80s and 90s. The walls themselves seem to pulse with creative energy. And for someone like Nicole, who lives and breathes artistry, that kind of atmosphere is absolutely priceless. Let's talk numbers for a moment, because £65,000 a month is the kind of money that makes even Hollywood accountants do a double take. To put this in perspective, that's more than £2,100 per day. Every single day. Whether Nicole is jet-setting to film locations or curled up in Boy George's infamous circular library reading scripts, she's paying the equivalent of what many people spend on rent for an entire year. But here's the thing about Nicole Kidman. She's never been one to make financial decisions based purely on logic. This is a woman who once spent 6 figures on a single piece of art because it spoke to her soul. She's invested millions in properties that others might consider impractical, simply because they moved her in some indefinable way. And when you consider that Nicole's estimated net worth hovers around the $250 million mark, £65,000 a month becomes less shocking and more, well, very Nicole. This is pocket change for someone who commands 8-figure salaries for major film roles and has built an empire that spans acting, producing, and brand partnerships. But let's dive into what makes this particular mansion worth such an astronomical monthly fee. The property spans over 8,000 square feet across 4 floors, each more spectacular than the last. The ground floor houses what Boy George calls his creative sanctuary, a state-of-the-art recording studio where he's produced some of his most personal work. Can you imagine Nicole wandering through these soundproof walls, perhaps humming melodies that only the microphones have heard? Then there's the master suite, and oh my God, this room alone could be featured in Architectural Digest for the next decade. Boy George designed it as his personal retreat, complete with a custom-built 4-poster bed that supposedly cost more than most people's cars. The attached bathroom is pure opulence. We're talking Italian marble, gold fixtures, and a bathtub that's literally carved from a single piece of stone. But perhaps the most enchanting space is the rooftop garden. Boy George spent years cultivating this urban oasis, complete with rare orchids, a meditation pavilion, and panoramic views of London's skyline. Sources tell us that Nicole has been spotted here in the early morning hours, coffee in hand, watching the city wake up below her. Asterisk now, here's where the story gets really interesting, because this isn't just about real estate, darling. This is about 2 icons whose paths have been intertwining for decades. Asterisk. Nicole and Boy George first crossed paths in the early 90s, back when Nicole was still establishing herself as a serious actress, and Boy George was navigating his own reinvention as a solo artist. They moved in the same circles, those exclusive London parties where artists, actors, and musicians gathered to discuss everything from Shakespeare to synthesizers. Over the years, their friendship has blossomed into something truly special. Boy George has often spoken about Nicole's ethereal presence and how she brings a sense of calm to any space she occupies. And Nicole? She's been equally complimentary, describing Boy George as one of the most authentically creative souls she's ever encountered. So when Boy George mentioned that he was considering renting out his beloved mansion while he embarked on his latest world tour, Nicole didn't hesitate. This wasn't just about finding temporary accommodation. This was about immersing herself in the creative energy of someone she deeply respects. But there's another layer to this story that makes it even more fascinating. Industry insiders suggest that Nicole's extended stay at Boy George's mansion coincides with a particularly intensive period in her career. She's currently juggling multiple high-profile projects, including a biographical film that's been generating serious Oscar buzz and a limited series for streaming that's already being hailed as her most challenging role yet. The mansion provides Nicole with something she's always craved: creative solitude without complete isolation. She can retreat to Boy George's private studio when she needs to practice accents or run lines. But she's also surrounded by the vibrant energy of central London when inspiration strikes. Friends close to Nicole reveal that she's been using this time not just for work, but for personal reflection. The past few years have been transformative for the actress, navigating the challenges of maintaining a Hollywood career while raising teenage daughters, supporting Keith Urban's own artistic journey, and constantly pushing the boundaries of her craft. And let's be honest, there's something deliciously rebellious about Nicole's choice to rent rather than buy. In a world where celebrities are constantly acquiring new properties like collectible trading cards, Nicole's decision to temporarily inhabit someone else's creative space feels refreshingly unconventional. It's not about ownership, it's about experience. It's not about adding another asset to her portfolio, it's about adding another chapter to her story. This move also speaks to Nicole's evolving relationship with material possessions. As she's gotten older, she's become more interested in experiences that feed her soul rather than acquisitions that simply fill space. The mansion isn't just shelter, it's inspiration, it's history, it's a living gallery of musical memories. Now, let's talk about the practical magic of living in Boy George's world. The mansion comes fully staffed, which means Nicole has access to Boy George's hand-picked team of housekeepers, gardeners, and even a full-time chef who's been creating meals for music royalty for over a decade. These aren't just employees. They're curators of the Boy George experience, ensuring that every detail maintains the property's unique atmosphere. The chef, in particular, has become something of a legend in London celebrity circles. Known only as Chef Marie, she's been crafting meals that blend health-conscious ingredients with comfort food indulgence. Exactly the kind of culinary artistry that appeals to Nicole's sophisticated palate. And then there are the little touches that make this rental arrangement so special. Boy George left personal notes throughout the house, recommendations for the best spot to watch the sunset, instructions for operating the vintage sound system, even suggestions for which wines pair best with London's unpredictable weather. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this entire arrangement is what it reveals about both Nicole and Boy George as people. For Boy George, renting his sacred space to Nicole represents the ultimate gesture of trust and friendship. This mansion isn't just his home. It's his sanctuary, his creative laboratory, his most personal expression. Allowing someone else to inhabit that space, even temporarily, requires an extraordinary level of comfort and connection. And for Nicole, choosing to immerse herself in Boy George's world rather than creating her own temporary London base reveals her continued commitment to growth and artistic exploration. Even after decades in the spotlight, she's still seeking new perspectives, still hungry for experiences that challenge and inspire her. The neighborhood itself adds another layer of glamour to this whole situation. We're talking about an area where royalty, rock stars, and billionaires live side by side, where privacy isn't just expected, it's guaranteed. Nicole can walk to some of London's most exclusive restaurants, galleries, and theaters without worrying about paparazzi lurking around every corner. The local shops have become accustomed to serving celebrities who value discretion above all else. There's a particular florist who delivers fresh orchids to the mansion twice a week, the same arrangement Boy George has maintained for years, and Nicole has apparently continued this tradition. And let's not forget about the cultural significance of this arrangement. When two artists of this caliber choose to intertwine their creative energies, even temporarily, it creates ripples throughout the entertainment industry. Other celebrities have taken notice, and whispers suggest that similar artistic exchanges might be becoming the new trend among Hollywood's elite. There's something beautifully poetic about Nicole Kidman, the Australian actress who conquered Hollywood, finding artistic refuge in the London home of Boy George, the British musician who revolutionized pop culture. It's a story that transcends real estate. It's about art, friendship, and the endless search for inspiration. As Nicole's stay at the mansion continues, industry watchers are fascinated by the potential creative collaborations that might emerge from this arrangement. While there's no official word on any projects, the idea of Nicole and Boy George working together isn't entirely far-fetched. Both are artists who've successfully reinvented themselves multiple times, and both share a passion for pushing creative boundaries. Imagine a film soundtrack composed by Boy George specifically for a Nicole Kidman performance. Or perhaps a documentary about the intersection of music and cinema, featuring both artists reflecting on their decades in entertainment. The possibilities are as endless as they are exciting. What's particularly striking about this story is how it challenges our assumptions about celebrity lifestyle choices. In an era where many stars seem focused on accumulating bigger mansions, fancier cars, and more exclusive possessions, Nicole's decision to rent Boy George's mansion feels refreshingly authentic. She's not trying to own the most expensive property. She's trying to inhabit the most inspiring space. This choice reflects a broader shift we're seeing among some of Hollywood's most established stars. They're moving away from material competition and toward experiential richness. They're less concerned with having the biggest house on the block and more interested in having the most meaningful connection to their living space. And the timing of this arrangement couldn't be more perfect for both artists. Boy George is in the middle of what many consider his most successful tour in decades, bringing his iconic music to sold-out venues across Europe and beyond. Having Nicole as the caretaker of his beloved mansion allows him to focus entirely on his performances, knowing that his most treasured space is in the hands of someone who truly understands its significance. Meanwhile, Nicole is at a career high, with multiple projects in development and critical acclaim pouring in for her recent performances. The mansion provides her with the perfect base of operations for this intense period of her career, luxurious enough to match her status, but meaningful enough to feed her artistic soul. As we wrap up this deep dive into Nicole Kidman's extraordinary London living situation, it's impossible not to be moved by the beauty of this arrangement. In a world that often feels increasingly disconnected and impersonal, there's something profoundly touching about two artists choosing to trust each other with their most precious possessions. Boy George with his beloved home, and Nicole with her need for creative sanctuary. This story reminds us that even at the highest levels of fame and fortune, human connection and artistic inspiration remain the most valuable currencies. Nicole could afford to buy any mansion in London, but she chose to rent Boy George's because it offered something that money alone can't purchase: soul, history, and creative energy. And that, darling viewers, is what makes this story so much more than just another celebrity real estate tale. It's a story about friendship, about artistry, about the endless search for spaces that inspire us to be our best selves. It's about understanding that sometimes the most luxurious thing we can do isn't to acquire something new, but to appreciate something that already exists, something with history, with meaning, with magic. Whether Nicole's stay extends for months or years, one thing is certain. This arrangement has already created a beautiful chapter in both artists' stories. And for those of us watching from the outside, it's a reminder that true luxury isn't about what you own. It's about how deeply you connect with the spaces and people that surround you. So the next time you're walking through London's most exclusive neighborhoods, and you happen to catch a glimpse of those familiar red curls disappearing behind the gates of a stunning Victorian mansion, you'll know you're witnessing something truly special. The ongoing story of Nicole Kidman's most enchanting London adventure. And who knows? Maybe this magical arrangement will inspire other artists to open their homes and hearts to creative collaboration. In a world that often feels divided, there's something beautiful about artists choosing to share their sacred spaces with one another. Asterisk if this peek behind the velvet curtains of celebrity London has captivated you as much as it has me. Make sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you think about Nicole's choice to rent rather than buy. Are you team rental mansion or team purchase? And don't forget to subscribe to StarWire Daily for more exclusive stories from the world of entertainment's biggest names. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we're uncovering next. It's going to be absolutely scandalous. Asterisk. Until next time, keep sparkling, darlings.